Hi friends, this is our first chapter book reading for the Summer Montessori and More program, and I've chosen Mr. Putter and Tabby Clear the Decks. And I picked this book because I love Mr. Putter and Tabby, but also because I wanted to make sure that we had a chapter book that I could finish in one video, because this first trial week, I'm only going to have one chapter book video. So I'll use longer books later on in the summer. So Mr. Putter and Tabby Clear the Decks, written by Cynthia Ryland and illustrated by Arthur Howard. Mr. Putter and Tabby Clear the Decks. And there's Tabby. This book has 5 chapters. The first chapter is called Itchy. The second chapter is called An Idea. The third chapter is called Pepping Up. To have pep means to have energy. The fourth chapter has an exclamation point at the end of the title, which means we say it with excitement. It's called A Boat. And the fifth chapter also has an exclamation point in its title, and it's called Another Boat. Chapter 1, Itchy. It was summer, and Mr. Putter and his fine cat Tabby were itchy. They were not itchy because of fleas. There was never a flea in Mr. Putter's house. They were itchy because they were bored. The days had become hot and long. It seemed that all they did was lie around and dream of creamsicles. They needed some adventure, and Mr. Putter always knew where adventure was. It was next door. If you've heard a Mr. Putter and Tabby book before, you probably know who lives next door. Mrs. Teaberry and Zeke. Chapter 2, An Idea. Mrs. Teaberry lived next door. She lived next door with her good dog Zeke, and they were very adventurous. They took adventurous classes, like diving. They ate adventurous food, like squid, and they loved adventurous movies. They watched those all the time. So Mr. Putter called Mrs. Teaberry. "Tabby and I are itchy," said Mr. Putter. "Oh dear," said Mrs. Teaberry. "Perhaps you need a flea bath." "No, no," said Mr. Putter. "We are bored. It is hot, the days are long, and we have no orange sickles." "You need an adventure," said Mrs. Teaberry. "I have an idea." Mr. Putter was glad, sort of glad. Mrs. Teaberry's ideas sometimes took him to strange places. There's some pictures of her previous ideas she's had before. Mr. Putter is thinking about them right now. Chapter 3 is called Pepping Up. Mrs. Teaberry and Zeke showed up at Mr. Putter's door. They had sunblock, sunglasses, and sun hats. Do you have an idea where they might be going? Probably somewhere sunny. Let's see. "Are we going in the sun?" asked Mr. Putter. He was already so hot. More sun did not sound like fun. "Don't worry," said Mrs. Teaberry. "We are going on a boat, a sightseeing boat." Mr. Putter pepped up. "A sightseeing boat," he said. "I love sightseeing." "I know," said Mrs. Teaberry with a smile. Sometimes Mrs. Teaberry was a genius. So very smart. Chapter 4. Remember that exclamation point. A boat. The sightseeing boat was named the Olden Days. Mr. Putter liked it right away because he and Tabby were both old. They liked being old. Mr. Putter was glad the boat was not named the Young and Zippy Days. Those were long behind him. Mr. Putter and Tabby and Mrs. Teaberry and Zeke stood at the very front of the bow. The wind blew in their faces. The gulls flew by. They felt free, free. Here are the gulls up here. And the bow of the ship is this part here. "Free orange sickles," cried the captain. Mr. Putter looked at Mrs. Teaberry. "You are a genius," said Mr. Putter. Mrs. Teaberry smiled. Chapter 5. And the other exclamation point. Another boat! At the end of the day, the sightseeing cruise was over. Mr. Putter and Mrs. Teaberry and Tabby were ready to go home. They're missing someone. Do you know who they're missing? But Zeke was not ready. He loved the olden days. He loved the wind and the water. Plus, everyone kept feeding him French fries. Zeke did not want to go home. He clamped his teeth on a mast. Zeke would not let go. Mr. Putter tugged. Mrs. Teaberry tugged. Zeke would not let go. Then the captain came along. The captain knew what it was like to love a boat. He knew how to talk to Zeke. He sat down and told Zeke many things. Zeke listened. Then the captain pulled a dog toy from his pocket. It looked like a boat. To take the boat, Zeke would have to let go of the mast. Zeke wanted the boat. He let go of the mast. Hooray! Everyone said. They all went home happy. Mr. Putter and Tabby took a nap. Mrs. Teaberry took a bath. And Zeke sailed his boat. Do you see where Zeke is sailing his boat? That's right, it's in his water dish. And look, now Zeke and Tabby are sailing his boat together in a little paddling pool. The end. I hope you enjoyed this chapter book, and I'll have lots more this summer. I'll see you next time.